Welcome back to another episode of Hello Ladies, where feminism meets pro wrestling. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. I am Sabrina.
And I'm MJ.
And this week we have a very special guest with us. Um, those of you who are on TikTok or watch MLW, you should be very familiar with him. We have Alex Kane.
Alex Kane's in the building, the Suplex Assassin, the Captain of Bomaye Fight Club, and all fun things on Wrestletok. Yeah, that's me.
Woo! That's right. Especially the last part. Yeah.
Hey, I'm here to entertain any way I can.
He's got that big, beautiful belt on his shoulder, too.
Mm-hmm.
Rocking it.
I haven't given a name yet, but one day.
Does
I
it
feel like you see. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Sabrina.
Oh no, you can go.
I was gonna say, I feel like you see champions sometimes that like the belt either like swallows them whole or it like doesn't fit them proportionally. But when you walk out with that freaking belt, I swear that belt was made for you, man. It just shines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so funny enough, there's a larger version of this belt.
Oh,
It's
really?
like it's probably, I think it might be like that big or
Oh
Jeez.
whatever.
wow.
I might be exaggerating on that big, but it's pretty fucking big. And they made it for that was like the original belt, not the original belt, but like the original belt of like the restart of MLW. And Low Key was the champion at the time. I think he beat Tom Lawler. And if you've ever seen Low Key before, Low Key is a small man, powerful man, but
Yeah.
small man. And the belt literally swallowed him, so they had to make a smaller one to fit him. So
Oh.
whoever wins the belt, they have the choice whether to get the big one or this one. Court hates them both, so equally. So, but I like this one. I was gonna do the big one, but I was like, I tried to hold it in like my first promo with it on, and I was just like, nah, this isn't gonna work.
So when you won the belt, it was the larger one, right?
No,
That you were
so
holding?
Hammerstone would carry this one because the big one was awkward. So this is initially the one that I had when I won. But but a few of my friends was like, "You should get the big one, man. It should be obnoxiously big." I'm like, "Yeah, that's gonna be cool, yada yada yada." And then I go to hold it for this damn promo, and I'm just like, "Nah, this isn't gonna work."
How is traveling with it?
Traveling with this is
Mhm.
fairly easy. My favorite thing is when the TSA agents take it out of the bag because either they know what it is. If they know what it is and they can see it and be like, okay, this is probably like a belt of some kind or whatever, championship of some kind, they leave it
Yeah.
alone. If they have no idea what professional wrestling is, and those people do exist, believe me or not, they do exist. Oh, what is this? What is this large metal plate in your bag? Like, are you a champion? I'm like, yeah, I'm MLW World Champion. Like, oh, that's so cool, and I get that. So that's my favorite. I like when they take it out the bag.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Also, I mean, you might be turning them into professional wrestling fans. They're like, I met
See,
a champ and he
I
was
met a
so
champ.
cool.
See, I always tell them go check out MLW on Fight TV, YouTube, all those. Look me up. You can Google me, so I can be like, hey, Google me.
I will say the fact that MLW has like such like all the stuff on YouTube is such a helping hand for the company because you can just there's so many promotions where you can't see everything and you
Hmm.
can see everything like match wise. Um
So funny thing with that is, so we had a deal with Reels earlier last year. Yeah, earlier last year, I think. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We had a deal with Reels or whatever. We were on TV. So we're like, oh yeah, we're on TV. This is awesome or whatever. You can watch on the Reels channel, which is essentially like the cop show channel or whatever. And then it was us. Um, and I cannot tell you the complaints that we got because they ended up taking it off of YouTube and everything was just on Reels, which was awesome for us as wrestlers because yes, we're on TV, but then it kind of sucked for some of the fans because not everybody could get Reels. Um, so it's like some people will try to like dunk on me and they'll be like, "Oh, you're not even on TV," and I'm just like, "But it's on YouTube, so you can watch it." And YouTube is essentially TV at this point. So it's a little double-edged swordish there.
I can see that. So we have a host of questions for you. But fair warning, anyone who has listened to us knows MJ and I have a tendency to go on tangents. So
I do
Us?
too. I do too.
I watching some of your interviews pre-gaming for this or researching for this, we both saw that and we were like, this will be perfect. This is either gonna be complete chaos or like the best podcast ever.
Or
Very,
both.
it could be both. It could be both. So one of the things that I don't think a lot of people know, you're a twin.
I am. I am a twin. A
So
fraternal twin.
so what does your brother do?
He is a football coach at a school here in Georgia. Um, he absolutely loves it. I love it for him. I think he's like a defensive coordinator or something like that, or whatever. He tells the defense people what to do if you don't know football. But yeah, I think teaching was always his passion. When we were like younger, we were like, oh yeah, we're both gonna be professional wrestlers. We're gonna be a tag team. We're gonna take over the world together. And then just kind of as time went on, it was just kind of like, nah, we're gonna do this. But he thinks I'm the coolest person ever. Like he texted the family group chat the other day. It's like, I just came to let y'all know that our brother is Googleable. That is all. Carry on.
Aw.
Awesome. So do you think like there's ever a possibility for like him to, I don't know, have an angle with you where he's like ringside and like one of those family members that like throws a punch or something?
That would be awesome, honestly. I think MLW is coming to Atlanta. I don't know when. I know that we're going to Atlanta because they told me. I'm gonna try to fit that in there somehow, some way.
Um yeah, I think I always love the family tie-ins with wrestling. It's
Too.
Mhm.
it always gets right in my feels.
I got to beat Matt Cardona in front of his dad, so right here.
You're like, yeah, got me right in the feels too.
Yep.
Well, I hope oh, go ahead, NJ.
I was just gonna ask, how was it like facing Cardona like that? I mean, someone who is like so over in the indies, and then you get to actually like essentially take him out and completely establish, like as if you hadn't already established just how strong of a champion you are.
So I'm gonna let y'all in on something because I don't know if people can see it in the match. Uh so after I throw him back into the ring, 'cause he tries to leave or whatever, the Bomaye Fight Club's on the stage. They're like, nah, you're not going anywhere. So I do a little spot there. I end up sitting myself on the top turnbuckle. Steph gets up, she's distracting me. Matt pulls
Mhm.
my leg or whatever to get me off. So
Yeah.
actually no, I'm not gonna go too inside wrestling for that one or whatever. So I I hit the mat and my head bounces off the mat. I'm not knocked out, but I'm definitely dazed. So I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again, because it's happened before. Um, so like if you watch it, like my hands go up like I'm still good, and they just drop, and I'm just laying there for a second. Whatever.
Oh,
Yeah. That's what like anytime I watch that match back and I get to that part, I'm like, speed pass, get right here. But yeah. But I mean, even with that, the match was still a lot of fun. I like the way that he works his matches, which is very Memphis. If you know anything about Memphis wrestling and Matt Cardona go hand in fucking hand, and it's great. Good shit.
that's awesome.
Since we've kind of gone that way, MJ, do you want to talk about ask the question about the partnership MLW has?
Yes. So I was really excited when I saw that you were going to be going against Kojima at
Hmm.
Super Fight. I was super stoked. So as in September when I first heard about that y'all were going to be collaborating with New Japan, I was super excited about that. I'm someone who's like slowly dipping my toes into like the New Japan waters.
Hmm.
I'm surrounded by all my friends who like know everything about New Japan, and I'm just kind of getting my feet wet. But
I'm
I
still
have to
getting my feet
ask,
wet.
yeah.
I'm still getting my feet wet.
So I
Definitely.
have to ask, like, for you, how are you feeling getting ready to go into that match against Kojima?
Just watching out for that lariat. I really am watching
Yeah.
out for that lariat. I've like so I like to study my opponents. To see, what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. Kojima really don't have any weaknesses. But from just a fan standpoint, I was watching him and Tanahashi from like 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And because I guess it's not his finisher, but it's one of his bigger moves. Larry being one of his bigger moves. This man, the way that he sells like the damage that he took on that arm, and then he finally gets the Larry, but it hurts so bad that he ends up rolling out of the ring or whatever. He's on the fucking floor. I think it's with the fucking referee, and he's just writhing in pain. Like, oh my God, this hurts so bad. Like for most wrestling fans and wrestlers, it's the big crazy spots that get them. But for me, it's the selling every time. The way he sold that was amazing. But I know it's for him being the first MLW world champion, um, is gonna make whooping his ass just that much sweeter. Because it's the current champ knocking down one of the greatest MLW world champions that MLW's ever seen. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
That's awesome.
That sounds really like a match you wouldn't want to miss.
It's definitely. I mean, all the matches that I have are ones you don't want to miss, especially his title defense. But that one's definitely one you want to tune into.
Well, you've kind of, for me anyway, led me to another question that we have, which if you were going to tell someone like, here are 3 matches of yours to watch to get the full Alex Kane experience, what 3 matches would they be?
Oh, let's see. My match, and this is also on YouTube. My match against O'Shea Edwards. I think it's Action. You can't do that in the living room, or you can't do that on the TV screen, something like that. But it's O'Shea Edwards versus Alex Kane. That's one. Um, Alex Kane versus Alex Hammerstone when I won the belt. Um, and my match with Jacob, my title defense against Jacob Fatu. Those 3.
Solid 3 matches, solid 3 opponents, honestly.
You get the full scope of Alex Kane, full scope.
Um, did you have I feel like I'm like dominating this. MJ, do you have a question that you want to toss
No.
in?
Sure. Switching gears a little bit, but Alex, you are like literally one of the most revered wrestle talkers, which is really cool because you're also simultaneously a actual professional wrestler. So it's kind of cool that you have both of those perspectives. I kind of wanted to ask you, how do you feel about how wrestling handles social media in modern day wrestling?
What elaborate?
So I feel, of course, like the idea IWC is always quick to come in with comments, right, about anything.
Hmm.
Like a wrestler shouldn't be like on social media, it breaks kayfabe. But some people also take the stance of like a wrestler being on social media is a great way to like cut promos and to actually like enhance your in-ring ability.
I think that people saying that wrestlers shouldn't be on social media because it breaks kayfabe is stupid. Kayfabe is. I won't say that kayfabe is dead or anything like that because a lot of people like to say that.
Sure.
Kayfabe has evolved, and it had to evolve. It wasn't going to be the same of that it was back in the day with people having so much access to their favorite professional wrestlers, whether that professional wrestler is as accessible as me or like you can see them say something on Twitter or something or on TikTok because a lot of them are on TikTok. Um, I think that there still needs to be a level of respect between wrestling fan and wrestler, and
Hmm.
that respect goes both ways. That's even something that I had to learn early on in my TikTok. journey because I was like, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about, da 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 da. But then I had to think about it like this: like, you have a perspective, and I have a perspective. I have a perspective of being in the ring in front of the curtain. You have the perspective of watching it your entire, most of y'all, your entire life, and being on the other side of the curtain. Um, like I used to get really like, I don't know, like agitated with like some of the fantasy booking and stuff. But then
Yeah.
again, it is you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. I just try to remind people, like, from like, especially like a booking standpoint, like, we've all watched WWE for however long we watch WWE. If you do watch WWE, if you really sit back and you think about how they do their booking,
Mm-hmm.
there really is no reason for you to fantasy book anything, because you know that they're not going to give you what you want right then and there, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If you watch a lot of their like major stars, it's all long storytelling. Like, you can look at Triple H's career that way. You can look at Stone Cold Steve Austin's career that way. You can look at The Rock. You can look at Undertaker. All of these guys' careers are just long-term booking
Yeah.
to the max. Um, so like, I feel like, as wrestlers, we don't need to try to demean, people in their takes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no right or wrong. It's all subjective. And that's one thing we also need to remember, that this shit is subjective. It is art or whatever. Like, these people going in and writing television for weeks on end, or maybe they write it that day. It doesn't matter. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying. That's all they can do. That's all they can do is try. And then also, wrestling fans on the internet have to understand is, they're not booking this show for you. They're
Yeah.
not. I was thinking about this the other day. Sorry for this little rant tangent or whatever. Um, there's a there's a pristine difference between the fans in the crowd at the show and the fans on the internet. The
Yeah.
fans in the fans in the arena were, no matter what the company, MLW, AEW, WWE, Impact, I mean, TNA, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The fans in the building watching the show are way different from the fans on the internet. And some of those fans in the arena might be on the internet, but majority of them are not.
Yeah.
They are the WWE, for example. There's a lot of fans in those arenas that will never get on Twitter, and will never get on TikTok, will never get on Instagram, anything like that. They're just there to see the show. Um, and that's who I feel like that's who they direct most of it to, because they're gonna come in and enjoy whatever's going on. The
Yeah.
fans on the internet, they're gonna be like, oh my god, they're not doing this, they're not pushing this guy, they're burying this guy. It's like, most of the things that you think are going on, especially some of those burials, it's not a burial. It's them trying things, and sometimes they hit, and sometimes they miss. Um, but yeah, I think overall people need to chill. Yeah.
I feel like that's solid advice for the IWC in general, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Calm the fuck down. Really.
Just wrestling.
Just enjoy wrestling.
Just enjoy it. It's supposed to be fun.
Yep. I will
Um,
say too, going back to that too, I have to say that like watching you on social media gives me more of a perspective and a respect for what you do, and like the way that you handle comments that you get, especially like some of the wild, crazy stuff that like you get asked,
Mhm.
and then you always find a way to respond to it in a way that is so tactful that I'm like, he's so good about thinking this through as he's talking, because I feel like it'd be so quick for somebody just to be like, what are you, dumb? What do you like? What is this? And I feel like you always have a really great way of like bringing it back in a positive way.
Well, it's definitely been like a learning, I guess, curve for me myself. Because sometimes I just want to be like, bro, I'm about to cook this man. I'd be looking at my wife, I'd be like, I'm about to do you see this? I'm about to cook this man. But she'd be like, nah, chill, chill, chill. You don't need to do that. Um, it's very weird to have um who somebody from the outside of something that you're so passionate about tell you, either one, you don't know what you're doing, you can't do what you do,
Yeah.
or you just completely suck at what you do. And I'm sure there are people in this world. No, I'm not even sure. I am 100% certain there are people in this world that think I am absolute dog shit. It is what it is. I'm never gonna win you over. Um, but like the thing that a lot of wrestling fans don't understand is how hard professional wrestling is, because you have to be a great actor, a great athlete. You got to be able to improvise on the spot. Like wrestling is very, very difficult. We make it look easy when we're out there, but it is not easy at all.
Yeah.
So like to be told by somebody who's never done this before, like whether I'm good, bad, or indifferent. If you tell me I'm good, yay. We all love to be told that we're good at something. But for you
Mhm.
to be like outright, oh, you're trash, you're garbage, this, that, and third, I'm like, dog, like what does that solve? What does that solve? Um,
Right.
so
Show
yeah,
me,
so
show me what you got. Like
show me what
you
you
jump in
got.
the ring.
So
Yeah.
I just try to be, I always on social media, I'm always trying to be the wrestler. I'm always trying to be the kind of wrestler that I wish I would have gotten to interact with, if social media, if we could have ever imagined what social media would be when we were kids or whatever. Like I always wanted to interact with, Randy Orton and Triple H and all these guys or whatever. But you as when I was a kid, because I'm 30 now or whatever, like we didn't have this kind of access. So now people have this kind of access, and I feel like they're squandering it a little bit and pissing it away. Instead
Yeah.
of like treasuring it for what it is.
And I think one of the things you said about like being the kind of wrestler you wish you could have interacted with as a kid,
Mhm.
um, going back and like looking over all of your stuff, I was just like, I had that thought. I was like, oh, I wish specifically my nephews were still like at a younger age where they were watching wrestling. Now
Mhm.
they're in their 20s and blah. They, they're too cool for everything. But because you would have been such an amazing influence on them. And
Oh.
I don't think that people, when they talk about wrestlers on social media, I don't think that's something that they're thinking about. Because like watching you get to see this like a positive masculinity in action. Like we see
Mhm.
you being very strong in the ring and dominant there, and then you're a well-rounded human being on the internet, which is fantastic to see.
That warms my heart. Don't make me cry out here. Don't make me cry on this damn podcast. Don't make me do
That'll just be what it's called. We make Alex Kane cry.
it.
Name of the book.
I really do appreciate that. I'm I'm not trying to be a role model or anything like that, but like that's I guess that's what's I'm just being myself. I tell the people all the time, they're like, "What do you mean you're just being yourself?" I'm literally like, okay, yeah, I'm being myself, but I'm out like I always tell myself, because I have a lot of conversations with myself. Does that make you sound crazy? Who cares? If you're not talking to
No.
yourself, you're losing out. Alex Kane is quite literally what I've always wanted to be in real life, but you can't be this person or whatever. So being able to have a medium to where I can express that and hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people get to see that is awesome. To be an inspiration to so many people is awesome. It warms my heart every single time. It's always weird when people message me and they're like, "Oh, I don't mean to bother you." I'm like, "Dog, you're not bothering me. Please message me. Don't say anything like weird or anything like that, because it's not fun or whatever." But like, if I inspired you in any way, like tell me. That makes me feel good about what I'm doing. Because sometimes I'm like, am I reaching people with what I'm doing? Like, what am I out here doing?
Um,
Inspiring people is what it's all about for me.
um,
Honestly, Alex, going back and looking at your social was so refreshing too, because I'm sure I actually almost messaged you because I was like, hey, don't be creeped out. I'm gonna go back and watch all your stuff and like it and stuff. But
I
I went
saw
back and
that and
looked
I
at
was like, oh yes, people are seeing my content. Let's go.
I totally did. And it was like super refreshing. Not that I expected anything bad, but going back and it's just so consistently you and like authentic. And like you stand up for what you believe in and you're outspoken and you just have like a tactful way, like I said earlier, of saying things. And like it's just really cool to see somebody like stand on business in that way and just like be 100% themselves. And it was really cool and refreshing to see, because we hear all the time about how fake social media is, and it's like I feel like I'm watching a real person who's just super cool, and like it only makes me, like I said, have more respect for like what you do as a person and like professionally. It's pretty cool.
I love that you said stand on business. I love that. I felt it in my soul. I felt it in my soul. You got to stand on business.
I feel like once you leave like the podcast, you're just gonna be able no one's gonna be able to tell you shit for the rest of the day.
You're right. You're right. No one would tell me anything. So my wife was like, "Hey, yo, chill. We know, yeah, you're cool. You're cool, but chill."
She's like, I deal with your coolness all the time. Settle down. One of the other things, so we've been talking a bit about the IWC and like fans and fan theories. So what has been the weirdest or like strangest fan theory or rumor you've heard about yourself?
Oh, haven't. I don't think I've heard any weird theories about myself.
Would you like to
Yeah,
start one?
I was gonna say that too. Time to start.
Yeah, I don't even know what I would start. I think today on Twitter somebody tried to tell me that uh um I'm not. Oh, he was like, "You're not the best or the biggest in bomaye," and that um and that all you do is run around here and you just yell bomaye. And first of all, he didn't spell any of this correctly or whatever. I don't know what was going on.
Of
I
course.
I guess the Scottish education system failed this man. But yeah, I'm just like, but you're here on my post because it was about saying fuck Hulk Hogan and anybody else that loves Hulk Hogan. Um, and I'm like, but you're on my post commenting. So if I'm unimportant, as unimportant as you say I am, why are you here?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff it always gets to me. Like, okay, you think I'm nobody. Why are you here? Why are you wasting your time telling me that I'm nobody? You can again, I would just start saying people, you can Google me, especially when people be like, "Oh, who is this guy?" Google me. Google me. It's out there. Google me. I
Yeah.
Google myself all the time, just to see, if there's anything new. But I let's start a fan. What fan theories can we start? Hmm.
I mean, this would be a great time if you have a match that you want to do with somebody, just like be like, oh, there's a rumor that I'm going to be facing.
There's a rumor that uh Josh Alexander is afraid of me. That's the rumor. That's the fan.
Oh,
Oh, that's a good rumor. That's a good rumor.
I think I heard that too, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you see, it's crazy. It's crazy how things spread so quick.
Yeah.
pretty sure it's trending on Twitter.
Yeah, trending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. We could make it trend on Twitter.
I was saying,
No, it's
compares.
crazy. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago I was supposed to wrestle him at a show in Atlanta. I think COVID got in the way of it, and just nobody was like, for like the longest time, people were, oh yeah, we need to see this match, and then it never happened. And I'm just like, are y'all afraid to make money? I know it's gonna make money. Like me versus Jeff Cobb. Now, then definitely. Now, I don't know. I've lost a considerable amount of weight. So that would be that. Actually, no, it would still work. It'd be a David versus Goliath story. Just not Goliath in so much height, but more in thickness. That man is thick. Jeff Cobb is coolest dude on the planet. But yeah, like there's all these matches out here that should have happened, but haven't happened, and I'm just like, there's so much money to be made. Like me versus I wrestled Myron Reed for the first time last year, and I've known that man for 3 or 4 years. That match should have happened. It's just little things like that. All right, let me stop rambling. Let me let y'all. I'm not
Oh,
here to take over y'all's world.
We're used to way worse rambles than
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Alex. We're good.
This is going really well ramble wise. So
Oh, good.
we're on topic, we're on task, so this is all good.
Or
Oh.
bomaye.
Right. So would you say that that kind of answered a question that I had, which was what 5 wrestlers would you like to work with?
So so we have Josh Alexander, we have Jeff Cobb. So that's 2 out.
Mhm.
Shelton Benjamin is at the top of that list, and he will always be at the top of that list. And I pray that it happens. If it doesn't happen, cool. But I hope that it happens.
Gotta happen.
Mhm.
It has to happen. It has to happen for the culture and all that good stuff. Shane Taylor,
Oh,
because he's a mentor of mine, and it would just be dope. Even though he always likes to joke to me that I'm stealing his shtick, and I'm not. Because I was gonna put captain on my jacket, and he was like, "Bro, you're gonna just steal my whole thing." I was like, "Yeah." I need a 5th person. The name that just popped in my head was Ricky Starks. I don't know if that is a possibility of
ooh.
happening, but that could be cool.
That'd be a fun match.
Oh, I would love that. The build to that match would be sick.
Mhm. The
Yeah,
promos
see,
alone.
the promos would be good. I'd get cooked at some point, but the promos would be good.
Um, let's see. So with that, who right now are you?
Actually, hold on. I'm adding a 6th to that, and that 6th is Shingo Takage. Um,
Oh,
I don't know who needs to make that happen, but someone needs to make that happen. All right, cool. All right, now we can move on.
Well, I just gotta speak it all into the universe, right? Eventually it'll happen.
Yes.
that's right.
So who are your favorite wrestlers right now to watch, like as a fan?
Okay, so as a fan, somebody gonna give me some stuff about this. He's actually literally on this post on this calendar that I have that I got for Christmas. It is none other than Roman Reigns. He's at the top of my
Okay.
list. I like to watch him. I like his ring work. I like his pacing. Randy Orton for the same reason. Actually, Randy Orton's pacing to me is actually a little bit funny because sometimes I do laugh watching his matches. Not because he's so damn good, it's hilarious, but at the slow pace that he moves at, and then sometimes like bam, and other times it's just really slow, and it's really good stuff. Um, so we have Roman, we have Orton. What else do I like to watch? No, that's about it. Those are my two. Those are my two that I go out of my way to watch. I will watch a PLE simply because Roman is on the card. I will skip to his match, watch his match, and go on about my business.
That's fair. Um, and you've mentioned her a few times. Your wife, she's German, correct?
She is German. She's real German. She's from Dortmund.
So how did you meet your German wife?
You want the real story, or do you want the story that I tell people?
The real story. We want
All
the
right,
scoop.
so I was swiping on Tinder. I was doing the swipes and the swipes, and I see her, and I think her profile said something like, "Not looking for a relationship, just looking for some fun." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not looking for a relationship either." Um, I just want to have some fun. She was hot. So I messaged her. Oh, not message her. We swiped right on each other or whatever. So she liked me too. We end up we talked for I think like a week or two. We ended up going on a date to Five Guys. I think she got like a hot dog. I didn't get much either because I was nervous. Um, but the whole basis of the date was just to hook up. One hookup and we're going about our business. Um, uh, the funny thing is, I think that night I ended up sleeping over for reasons I do not understand to this day. I do not understand to this day because now I think when I think about it now, when we're talking about it, I'm like, I'm this stranger that you had sex with. Um, but also I'm sleeping in your bed. So she was like, I couldn't go to sleep, so I didn't know what the fuck to do or whatever. I was like, you could have just told me to leave. She's like, I didn't do that. That would have been mean. Um, so I think we hung out a few more times, and I was just like, you know what? She's really nice. She's always been really, really genuine, and she didn't kick me out that night where she probably should have. Let's go. Or whatever. We're gonna date. So that's how I met my wife. It wasn't this this Disney fairy tale thing. It was literally we hooked up, we enjoyed each other just enough, and now we're together. And what is it? 4 years now? 4 or 5 years now?
What's the story you tell people?
Tell people that he was a Russian spy. Um that was just posing to be German. And she was here to tank my wrestling career because my
Mm.
wrestling career was just that big. It wasn't at all. But she has quite literally been here not since the beginning of my wrestling career, but like she's been here since almost the beginning. Held your boy down for a minute.
That's how I know you're a wrestler, when you could come up with that creative and of an elaborate storyline behind how you met your wife.
Yeah. Is she a wrestling fan, or was she
Is
initially?
not a wrestling fan at all. The coolest thing now is that she can watch a movie in match structure. So shine, heat, come back, finish. That's really, really cool. She'll call it out when we're watching it sometimes. But she's more of a fan of me than anybody else because she can't suspend her disbelief for wrestling because she knows what wrestling is. Which hurts sometimes, but other times it's hilarious because like she'll come to some shows with me, and like in between when I catch her, if I'm not in the back or if I come out to like watch somebody's match, um she'll just be like what did this person think that they were gonna do? Like this, they made it not look real, and they made it not look this, that, and the third. And don't get me wrong, she respects what we all do or whatever, but she's very much a realist. She wants it to be as real as possible, and if it's not as real as possible, it better be goofy as fuck over the top. Like she loves Microman. Microman is probably her favorite wrestler outside of me. Because like we under she's like we I know this is supposed to be funny, and it's giving funny. So yeah, I'm never gonna give up on trying to make her a wrestling fan.
It's always good to convert people.
Right?
You at least gotta try. You at least gotta try. If it doesn't work out, it is what it is. But you just gotta try.
She does have, so um going back through some of your old TikToks, you see her in some of them, and she's talking, and at first I was just like, she has the sweetest voice. I can't place that accent. And then thankfully you had like hashtagged it.
Hmm.
And I was like, German, and I was like, ah yes, because like the American version of like what you think of when someone's speaking German is like the yelling.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why my brain didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, she doesn't do a whole lot of yelling, but one thing I have noticed is Germans are very it's like they're very I won't say dry. They're very blunt. They're very to the point. That hurts sometimes.
But that has to also be good. She's not like blowing smoke up your ass, right?
Facts. That is true. That is true. She's not blowing stuck on my ass. Um, sometimes, bro, can you like put a little sugar on it?
Um,
Alex, for you, how do you balance wrestling and your family life?
Um, uh, I have to leave wrestling where wrestling is. So whether it's on social media or whether it's like the show or work itself, I have to leave that where that's at. That's been really that was really difficult at first, but now I've been able to separate the two. But like I also wrestling doesn't consume me anymore. Like it used to. Boy, woo, mm, I was a little insufferable at one point. Um, but no, you just kind of gotta have that balance because like wrestling's not gonna be here forever. So you gotta find those things in life that you enjoy doing outside of wrestling or whatever, and it also makes you appreciate wrestling just that much more.
What are
That's awesome.
what are some of the things you enjoy outside of wrestling?
So video games, like I said before we got on here, Assassin's Creed Mirage is what I'm currently playing. And then like we love to sit down and watch like different shows. Like right now we're watching Poker Face on Peacock. Very, very good show. It's a redheaded chick from what is that show? The jail
Orange is
show
the
with
New
all the
Black.
women. Yes, that one. That one. She's in there. She's a main character. She's like a human lie detector, and it's the greatest thing ever when she like figures out someone's lying because she'll always be like bullshit. And I'll be like, oh, now we're getting good. So like just like shows like that, we like to binge watch shows. We like to cook together. We like to go to different restaurants and try different shit. Um, and yeah, I think those are my three things. And then send each other TikToks. Because if you only truly love a person when you send them TikTok.
That's true.
After that.
MJ and I send each other a lot of TikToks.
See?
Love you, Sabrina.
We always joke that we're flame brains. I don't even remember how we got to flame brain, but MJ and I are very much so like psychically connected. We're very much so one and the same.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time. Most of the time. It can't be peaches and rainbows all the time.
True, true, true. Um, so ah, going off of social media and TikTok and whatnot, you are also outspoken about various like social issues, things that are going on. What are the social issues currently that are like you're most passionate about?
Um, so anything that has to do with like damn, how do I put this? Put it I mean I don't know. Anything that has to do with like black liberation or anything like that, that's definitely like highest on my list. Because like the whole like bomaye fight club, I can bring everything back to wrestling. But like so the entire idea of the bomaye fight club, what it is now, is inspired by the Black Panthers in a way. Like the Black Panthers were for the people. Everybody couldn't just be in the Black Panthers or whatever, no matter what color, creed, or race you were, but like they were for the advancement of Black people, but the advancement of working class people. Um, so in my mind, like the Moonlight Fight Club is for the people. We're this cool all black group, different shades of black because you got to have those. But like, it was really really dope all black group. But like, I literally here to stand up for everybody in wrestling, no matter what you look like. It's just the group itself is a bunch of cool black dudes because you need a group of really cool black dudes doing really cool things. Thomas, the bald one with the beard, he actually ended up pitching the idea of a black NWO, and that's kind of what we've become in a way. So that's a little Easter egg for you. Um, but also the liberation of the Palestinian people, um, and the people in the Congo. Everybody that's under some kind of occupation, freedom, folks. To the backward.
It's unfortunate
Absolutely.
that's such a long list of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But
Go ahead.
yeah. No, go ahead.
Um, I think I remember right around New Year's, I can't remember if it was before or after, but you would put out on social media, whether it was TikTok or Instagram, saying like, hey, wrestling promoters, I want to fight more black champions or like
Black
black
wrestlers, black
wrestlers.
talent.
Yeah. And I thought it's so important when people hold positions of power and have a platform that they use them. And you do such a great job of that.
Thank you.
And I think it's exactly what needs to happen, like making those requests when you have the platform to do it. Has anyone
I
seen books?
got flack for that from people you would guess that I would get flack from it for, but like I'm just like, dog, like this, it doesn't mean that I don't want to wrestle anybody else. I just want to wrestle more people that look like me. That's all.
Right.
I'll wrestle anybody if the money's right, but like I want to wrestle more people that look like me. But a lot of people were really mad about that. Somebody was like, "Oh, what if a white person did this?" Okay, I mean, generally he's probably gonna wrestle people that look like him anyway. But like, if there was a scarcity of white wrestlers not wrestling white wrestlers, then yeah, he could say that. No one's gonna be mad. The fuck?
It's interesting how people care about inclusivity when they feel like they're not being included, but they don't care to
Yes,
try to include other people.
Mhm.
nail hammer MJ. Damn, right on the head.
I like that little thing you just did there, MJ. That like, I caught that.
That's her signature taunt now.
That would be MJ in a video game.
Yep.
Love it.
One of my favorite things. So tangent now. MJ, can you talk about Freddie and his taunt with his arm stub?
Oh, so of course he's not with me right now, but I have a three-legged dog named Freddie Mercury,
Oh,
and he
that's right.
actually he has they it's a whole long history of his, but like way before I got him, way before he was in my life, he had actually like a botched removal of the arm, and it left him with a goofy looking like dolphin fin thing instead of just like a clean cut. And so
Yeah.
if he ever wants anything, he'll point at it with the nub, like give me that, or like I want uppies, like, and it'll stick his tongue out usually like with the with the elbow at me.
That's awesome. I like the name too, Freddie Mercury. That sounds like a wrestling name.
Yeah, he's pretty fabulous. I'm not gonna lie, I'm spoiled.
He's adorable. Yeah, so feel free. I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of MJ and Freddie here, but if you ever want to use that in the ring, like one with your elbow and stick out your tongue, you'll get
Little homage to
a
Freddie.
So MLW, much like all wrestling promotions that have been around for even a little bit of time, doesn't always have the best track record or history, or has some like blemishes on their record.
Mhm.
Your championship reign, however, has been so positive, and as we've said several times now, you've brought you know, a great perspective and light to
The
MLW as
championship
a whole.
picture.
Yeah, and the
Mhm.
championship picture. What do you hope to really accomplish being champion as far as like the lens on MLW goes?
I honestly, I just want to get us into the conversation to where when people are talking about um the promotions and the major promotions, no pun intended, in America, because like most of the time when people talk about wrestling in America, it's WWE, AEW, and I mean TNA, and I understand why TNA is in that spot. They were once on national television, Spike TV, all that other stuff, so they have that, that long like lineage and history. to them, and MLW is still fairly new. Like 2002 is when it started, went away, came back. But like there's been like a lot of like you know, people that have worked there where it's been like, okay, this may not have been the greatest move to do. And that's kind of, even though sometimes depending on what's going on, we're up here and we're riding high, and then like if once that kind of dies down, we kind of get like pushed back in the corner sometimes. So I I myself want to get us to where when people talk about wrestling in North America, MLW is always in the conversation. We ain't gotta necessarily be in that top three or whatever, but I want to at least be in the conversation. Um, so like that's just to bring a more positive light to it, and like let everybody know that like we MLW quite literally has something for everybody. Like we don't call it hybrid wrestling for anything. I mean, just for shits and giggles. Like we got the luchadors, we got the death match hardcore guys, we got the grappling, we got the strikers, we got the strong style, we got all the flavors that you need. Even the featherweight division. I hate the name, but you know it is what it is. Um, Even the women's featherweight division is starting to like it's starting to really come into its own. So uh yeah, I just hope that with my title reign, it doesn't necessarily have to be the longest in my opinion. I just want it to be the most impactful reign the MLW has ever had.
Nice. Would you say that MLW is in your mind like the Ben and Jerry's of wrestling?
Yes. Yes, I would like that's a good one. I'm keeping that one. You right. The MLW has been a curious professional wrestling. Yo,
You can have that one for free.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Um, MJ, you got a question?
No, answered all my questions and then some. Alex, is there anything that you want fans to know, maybe who don't tune into MLW or maybe who aren't familiar with what you do?
Bomaye is for the people. That's what I want you to know. I want you to take that. I want you to just lay it right up against your heart area right here, just right in that crevice, and just like know that, believe that, and let it comfort you at night. Because it's true. Bomaye is for the people. That's why I be on social media the way that I do, because I'm a man of the people. I'm not just out here saying it because it sounds cool. It does sound cool, but I'm not talking when I'm saying it. What else? What else? If you know what, there's never a bad time to plug your other social medias. You can follow me
Yeah,
on Twitter at Alex Kane 11. It's the same thing on TikTok. I'm funny on both.
you are. It's
Yeah.
true.
Um,
No lies
I give
detected.
I give good advice in the DM. So if you need some advice, up and coming wrestler, life advice, anything like that, I got you. Um,
Recipes.
Recipes.
From personal experience.
Yep. Can attest.
Follow me on Instagram at the Suplex Assassin. I just post pictures there. Um, I'm in this like phase right now of promoting my matches where like all of them have some 2005 Soldier Boy track on it. I don't know why. But
Nice.
that's where we are. And yeah, be nicer to each other. Like wrestling's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. So let it be that.
I do have one other question for you.
Yes.
Are you booked for a match or any show yet for WrestleMania weekend?
So I'll be doing action wrestling, a show called Dean. I don't know why it's called Dean right now. Right off the top of my head, I have to look it up. But so that'll be let me just pull up a calendar. So Dean will be on April 4th, which is a Thursday at 8 p.m. at the H2O Wrestling Center. I think that's in like Jersey, but like closer to Philly, one and two.
Hmm.
And then For the Culture is on Friday. It starts at midnight. So people can go to Wale Mania. But For the Culture, it's a GCW show. Just some of all the best black wrestlers in the nation, all under one roof, doing what we do best. So that'll be at midnight on Friday, and then the PWI 500 is putting on a show at the H2O Center, and I think it is called some kind of Vania, Thrashylvania. Yeah, Thrashylvania. But yeah, that'll be at April 6th, at noon at the H2O Center. So as far as what I have now, that's what I got going.
Gotcha. All right. And I'm sure you've wrestled in Philly before, so you know the whole drill of just randomly say "Go Birds" and you'll be fine. Nothing bad will happen to you in the city.
I did not know that, but now I will know that. I mean, Philly's like a second home to me at this point. So go Birds. I will start saying that.
Yep. If you're ever in like a situation where you're like, oh, just go Birds. Go Birds. It like wards off the evil.
Okay. All right.
All right. So everyone who's gone to WrestleMania week has quite a few options on when to see you. I hope that you've scheduled some time to like sleep maybe for a week after that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that sleep.
Or not.
Or not. Who needs sleep? Just give me an energy drink and some gummy worms. I'll be good.
So we have our super special sign off that we gave Alex a run through at the beginning before we started filming. So you're not completely on the spot with it.
Yeah.
But as always, in the name of our Lord and Savior, John Cena,
John Cena.
John Cena.
hustle,
Hustle.
loyalty,
Loyalty
and respect.
and respect.
Yabadoo.
Yabba do.